Hello, my name is Marcus Anthony of the Pinnacleist, and we're here in beautiful Lahaina, Maui, Hawaii. And I'm here today with
Dean Otto of Sakamoto Properties. And we're here today to look at 454 Wailau Place, which is up in the hills of Lahaina, currently listed for $14,750,000.
Great.
Yeah?
So
we're going to take a look.
Okay.
Jump in. So this really is one of our most spectacular properties right in Maui. It's a very unique property, very unusual in the sense of its privacy, which is really the big draw here.
Yeah. It's breathtaking.
It's breathtaking. Wow. People have a really hard time imagining that when you come through this gate, this is just a little world here of total privacy. The boundary runs along the top of this hill over here. Wow. And so when I say it took 5 years to build this house, the first 2 years were dedicated to creating this level 10 acres of land that we have landscaped here.
Incredible landscape.
So 2 years of grading. There was basically a big mound over here that was mined out and completely spread out, and we created a 10-acre pad, which is a huge undertaking.
Oh, I can imagine.
Significant cost just to actually create the pad. It was probably the biggest challenge of building this property. The beauty of it is the house almost feels like it grows out of the rock. And a lot of the rock that you'll see in there has been mined and used throughout the house as well too. So it brings this outdoor right into the house, and so it's spectacular.
Right.
Good example of the columns over here. These are all natural rock.
Wow. Native to this area.
To this site specifically, and a beautiful koa wood door to frame your entry. So come on in.
So immediately I noticed we got the granite floor.
Granite floor in the entry. The materials in this house are second to none. They really are spectacular. You have extensive use of the onyx, which is a very popular newer product that we're seeing in most of our super high-end homes, and of course they have this beautiful inlay here for the entry, which is spectacular. The choice of materials really ultimately being what I feel like is the distinguishing feature of this particular property. They've really done a great job with choosing materials and then blending it in with the natural setting and the natural materials. It's a really, really well done property.
Oh, spectacular.
When you come on out and see the view, it's really all about the view here in Maui. And this is one of these spectacular views, one of the more panoramic views. So anytime that you can get multiple islands in your view, obviously that's very attractive. You can see all the way to the west side, on the south side of Maui, and you actually can see Pinnacle distance here, which is obviously one of the popular snorkeling areas.
Popular tourist destination.
Very popular for tourists. Wailau is uninhabited island right now, but maybe one day. And then of course you have Lanai off to the right too. So you have this really spectacular exposure, very dramatic. It drops off quite a ways to the ocean from here, so you can kind of see as you look down. And a beautiful coastline over here, and gives you a sense of the privacy too. So it's a sheer drop off all the way around this property, and then the other boundary is really the top of this little hillside that sits here beside us. And the steps are sort of carved out of that hillside. But very, very stunning setting. As I say, it's really the privacy that makes this property stand out. And the reality is that these properties like this are becoming a lot more popular. And they're becoming a popular choice because the ocean frontage tends not to be very private anymore. So they put public walkways along the coastlines, and if you're a celebrity or a superstar athlete or something, you really don't have the privacy anymore on the ocean front.
And here you have your own oasis.
And so it's become very popular with the sort of celebrity types
I noticed the landscaping goes all the way down.
Yeah, it's about 10 acres of landscaping. So there's a lower level here that goes all the way down to a point on the far right side down there. That actually is the multitude of trees all the way down to the side over there. So you'll see a little putting green over there. Yeah, I see that on this side. That's practicing putting green. And then right down below us here, you can see the photovoltaic, which is basically what powers this house. This house is completely off the grid. So we have photovoltaic that goes to a battery storage backup, and if there's ever not enough sunlight, which would be very shocking over here, super warm climate, that you do have a generator as a backup. So it's photovoltaic to battery storage to generator, so there's no relationship with the electric company here, which is very unusual. It's a one of a kind. It's the first on Maui that is not hooked up to the Maui electric grid.
Quite the
So
dynamic
it's definitely off the grid. Definitely off the grid. And as a part of celebrating the off the grid nature of this property, the owners decided to include a Tesla along with the purchase of the property. So you got the free gas and free electric.
Wow,
that's a pretty sweet deal.
That's a sweet deal.
Absolutely. Yeah. Come on, let me show you the pizza oven over here.
Oh, my favorite pizza.
Anytime you can get your infinity edge to drop off into the ocean, I think it's sort of the ultimate for Maui, is to be able to walk in and just see the pool hitting the ocean. I think they've really done a good job to capture that feel.
That really gives me that Spanish feel in the Spanish islands.
Exactly. No, that's a popular feature. So this is actually a perfect place to be today. Sitting out here, it's a perfect day. It's not too windy, and you have your nice little protected area from the sun. And this would be a great place for your evening pizza parties. But also, they tend to spend a lot of time here. When the owners are in town, they eat out here a lot and they hang out here a lot. Yeah, so it's kind of a nice little sweet spot on the property.
Definitely.
Also, it's right nearby the kitchen over here. So why don't we take a walk back there and I'll show you a little bit about the home itself. But this is about as spectacular as it gets. And as I say, properties like this have become much more in demand now with the ocean frontage losing its privacy with all the public nature of oceanfront in Maui. That's we're getting a lot of interest in properties like this right now, especially from the celebrity houses.
Right, privacy is definitely key.
It's a key. It's probably the number one consideration when we're showing properties of this caliber. So back into the living room here. There's kind of a mix of themes going on here, which is really a reflection of the owner. The owner's from the East Coast, so you sort of see an East Coast influence, you see an Asian influence.
Yeah, I see that.
You see a Hawaiian influence with the natural woods. You have a lot of this mahogany wood throughout the house. They also have a lot of native koa too, which is very popular. And so it's a nice blend of different elements, which is truly reflective of the Hawaii melting pot nature, where we don't really have one dominant group. It's just a true melting pot of all different kinds of people from all over the world, and a lot of our homes reflect that. So this is a good example of some pretty interesting,
diverse cultural
very
experience.
diverse culture, exactly. The dining room, spectacular. We have a local artist by the name of Padilla that does these sculptures. You'll see him. He does the decorative gates and a lot of the stuff. So you'll see that there's a theme of flowers throughout the entry. The flowers have cameras. Inside they have lights, and so they sort of utilize a lot of the sort of outdoor Padilla sculpture type effect throughout the house too. So that's really a unique feature of the property too. It's quite beautiful. Pocket doors all the way through, as you can see, the whole entire front of this house. Pockets open, of course, and it's that indoor-outdoor lifestyle that makes Maui so popular. And this is a perfect example of, it's a fairly breezy day out there, but you're pretty well protected up here, and you have the ability to completely blow this open, which is a really popular feature.
Absolutely stunning.
Kitchen is stunning. The kitchen is a copy of Julia Childs' kitchen from her country home in France.
Oh, wow.
It was designed and built by the top kitchen designer, La Cornu Chateau, which is obviously a French kitchen design company, and probably the number one kitchen design company in the world. It's a showcase kitchen, there's no question about it. It's got all the bells and whistles, and it's just unlike anything that we've ever seen before. Just a whole nother level of detail and quality in this home. That it's just my favorite home to show, and I just can't show it enough. So it's really fun, but spectacular in every sense. Why don't we take a walk down to the guest wing here, and I can show you a little more about some of the great choices that they've chosen here for the bathrooms, especially. The interiors are fantastic. This is actually a fairly colorful part of the house. Actually, really fun that each bedroom has its own theme, so to speak. And they're very bold with the selection of colors. The Venetian plaster has a sheen to it that really makes this room pop, and it's just a very interesting combination of colors and very interesting.
Yeah.
There's nothing boring about this house.
No, nothing boring. No.
The bathrooms are my favorite parts of all of these rooms. The bathrooms are absolutely incredible. Extensive use of marble and onyx again. They really love their onyx.
That shower.
And this shower is amazing. It is agate stone, so you can actually see the fossils in there. This is the real deal. It's absolutely spectacular. And then what they've done in their bathrooms too is they've actually trimmed out all of the corners and edges with the trim piece of marble, which is really an incredible detail that goes so well with the different stones.
Yeah,
it just really pulls everything together. It's a detail that you don't normally see, but every bathroom in this house is spectacular. Of course, every bathroom has an outdoor shower as well. So, the outdoor showers are popular in Hawaii. It's a throwback to the old days, where in the day, the Hawaiians, all of the bathrooms were outside. Yeah. So, in some of the newer homes now, you're seeing this sort of creeping back into the style, to kind of as a throwback to the old Hawaiian style. But people love the ability to just open the door and go outside and shower in the natural.
So it's the Hawaiian heritage.
It's the Hawaiian heritage, right? Yeah. So a little bit of Hawaiianness coming through in the bathrooms for sure.
Hawaiiana.
Hawaiiana is right. Exactly. The inlays in the doors. I mean, they got stuff from all over the country. A lot of the stuff comes from Bali. I mean, they've really picked up a lot of the places where they've traveled. They've brought in some of the materials and really kind of created this interesting blend. Again, the Venetian glass. I see the bold choice again. It really, as I say, it really makes the rooms pop when you do something like that. What's normally a blank wall all of a sudden becomes sort of a focal point. People come in here, and it's the one thing they immediately talk about is this
the wall itself is a feature.
Yeah. So it's pretty awesome. Except for one bedroom, they all have great ocean views. They all have good privacy. They've really designed these properties well to be able to give the guests their own space, look at each other.
And so, remind our viewers, how many bedrooms and baths?
So we have 4 bedrooms and 4.5 baths.
Okay.
It's about 6,663 square feet. So it's not a massive home, but it
really feels optimized.
It does.
The space.
Single level, sprawling. It spreads out well, and you give everyone a view from your bedroom. Yeah. And you can kind of do a good job by spreading out when you extend out. And this has really worked well.
You really feel like every space counts.
Exactly. Yeah. And it does. And they've not compromised it. We cannot find any compromise.
No compromise.
The secondary bedrooms have onyx, which is the premier material that you'll see in any luxury home right now. It's very state of the art. It's a very new, fresh material. Again, they have the outdoor shower. That's an entire onyx shower right there. So pretty incredible. Yeah. And this is like a secondary bedroom for a guest, But as I say, they really haven't compromised anywhere. And this also feels good to me. I love coming into this room because you get a sense of how that home was sort of carved out of the rock here. As you look out this window, you're kind of looking at the natural rock, and it just sort of transitions straight into the home. And you really feel like as you walk around here that the house was actually built out of the rock.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite styles of builds. You get that outside element in.
Exactly. And so as much as we can bring the outdoors in is clearly the focus here. And with all the pocket doors, that interaction really becomes pretty easy and pretty convenient. Come on, let's go take another look.
Great.
So this one is the 4th bedroom, I guess. It doesn't have the ocean view, but the beauty of this area is that the mountain views are just as spectacular as the ocean views. As you look out to the mountains, and this is a very popular view for a lot of people that live up here. Yeah. If you talk to the people from around here, they're going to tell you that the mountain views are as good as the ocean views, but that's a very popular view out to those big canyons up in the hills there.
Yeah.
And another spectacular bathroom, onyx again. Great choice of a book-matched piece of granite here. Wow. Book-matched, I mean, you can see that they split it down the middle and opened it up, and they've made sure that all of the grain matches, and there's nothing that it sort of looks like one piece,
It does, yeah.
But it's and again with the onyx trim piece all the way around, that's a pretty spectacular shower right there. Nothing boring about this house. This door leads to a 4-car garage. You know, I always point out the little things about this house, the little details. Like for example, if you wanted to open this door and have a screen, you pull your screen down and use it. But when you're not open, you pull it up so that you don't have that blurred vision of looking through a screen. You know, so they just go into incredible detail on all aspects of every point.
The screen keeps the geckos out.
Exactly right. Well, the gecko's a good luck that you know that, right?
Oh.
And just a little Zen room. They consider this a Zen room. There's a water feature out there. It's kind of Zen garden. There's a water feature that'll flow out of there and put it on right now. So we do that. So at night, when you open it up, you hear the sound of the water. It's sort of accompanying
very tranquil.
very tranquil little setting right here. It's the perfect.
Oh, I love that.
Especially at night, you know, the sun comes down on this side. This tends to be a little bit of more of a cooler, comfortable climate. Of course, it's lit up at night, and it's pretty spectacular. So the home is being sold turnkey. So everything that you're seeing here is going to be included in the sale. All the furniture, there's some personal artwork, but basically what we're talking about is turnkey. Bring your toothbrush and we're ready to go. So,
including the Tesla.
Including the Tesla, which is my favorite part. So this is an extra sort of powder room / pool bath. And it's pretty nicely done too. It's beautiful granite that they've chosen for this too. Well, media room. They do have a TV in the living room, but this would be your dedicated media. It's pretty nicely set up.
Just imagine watching a movie here and enjoying the sunset.
Yeah, I mean it's actually a spectacular room.
Yeah.
And then you can tell that they obviously don't work very hard here because there's not a lot of activity, not a lot of action going on in the office. But this would be the little workstation office area. So they're pretty much retired. So you can see that there's not a whole lot of activity going on in here too. But this would be a dedicated sort of workstation area.
That's great.
The guts of the house in here, so the brains of the house, I should say. So you got all your systems in place there, the sound system, everything operates on a electronic system. You can control everything from the mainland. You can, he could be on the East Coast, turn his AC on, you can turn his lights on. It's all remote and all.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it'd be pretty high tech in that sense. It's not too confusing to operate, but it's a nice feature to be able to control. Hit one light switch and everything shuts down, operated manually from
and of course it's all off the grid.
It's all totally off the grid too, so again, you can use as much energy as you want here and it's never going to be a problem.
Yes.
And the one thing about this area is we get a tremendous amount of sunlight. You can see as you look out that it's a fairly dry area. You don't get a lot of rain at all here, so sunlight is never going to be a problem in this area.
Yeah. You really get that canyon feel down there.
Yeah, which is nice. I mean, it's a nice feel. So this is the master bedroom, and it's just a spectacular room. Obviously, waking up to this view couldn't be all that bad.
It's what you dream of.
It's what you dream of, exactly. But very spectacular. Totally open again. I mean, so open that my curtains are blowing out here. But just a spectacular space, And then with the total privacy here, you may not want to sleep with it open like this, but you could. Yeah. You have the option of screens as well as a door. We love it open like this because we don't have a lot of bugs and things flying around here. So that's
one of the advantages.
It is. Because a lot of people, the first thing they say, well, what about the bugs? And actually, this area is pretty good in the sense that it's a pretty solid trade wind breeze that comes through. It keeps all the bugs out, and you can live with like this without any problem.
No.
And as I say, it's pretty breezy out there today too, so you can get a sense of, the breeze is awesome because it keeps things cool. Yeah. But and this is the perfect time.
It's a natural cooling system.
It's a natural AC, exactly right.
Yeah.
But this is what you wake up to every day when you get out of bed, and I think it's spectacular.
It's breathtaking.
Yeah. As I say, there's no one around you. You really can't see anyone from here. There's no lot that could be built on that could impact your privacy. The next lot over, adjoining the 27 acres, is owned by the same owner. So you could actually go and buy another 25 acres and end up with about 50 acres in total. But ultimately, it's all of this, all the way around, all the way down, along the top of that hill and to the gate. So the gate really is the only access point to this property. And it's that privacy that separates this house, I think, from the pack. No one else can really deliver that kind of privacy. And as I say, that's really been the number one criteria as we've showed the caliber of client that we're looking at.
Yeah. It's such a rare opportunity to own a location like this, unlike anything else.
And 27 acres is a really big parcel in Maui, and it probably doesn't sound like it's that big to a lot of people, but to have 27 acres or a total of 50 acres is really unheard of.
Yeah.
And it's really only since this property, this area kind of opened up, and it was an agriculturally zoned area that they did these larger parcels. But typically on Maui, if you've got a half acre, you'd be doing really well.
Okay.
So to have 27 acres or 50 acres is, as I say, unusual treat around here.
I noticed this theme continues throughout on the ceiling.
Yeah, so there's your Padilla sculptures. And as I mentioned, when you come into the entry, there's flowers that have cameras on them.
Yep.
And the dining has lights in there, but they've sort of done different treatments for the different places. And this is another good example right here. I love this bathroom too. This is one of my favorites. It's simple and elegant, but it's just, I think, it's dramatic. It's all onyx, and the entire room is onyx, which is pretty unusual.
You really feel that opulence.
You do. Yeah. You can see when you look at this, it just pops. Yeah. And then again, you got the outdoor shower, the granite walls, spectacular mountain view from the outdoor shower. One of the popular features that every time I bring anyone here, the first thing I do is I go out and look up in this hillside over here. Oh, and that's a beautiful,
that's just incredible.
Shower. Yeah, because again, the sun's setting behind us, so in the mornings, this is really spectacular. This is spectacular all day. Yeah,
it's amazing.
Very natural, just natural feel to it. I really like it.
And I noticed this unique drain system here.
Yeah, so again, another level of detail that they really what they do here is they're just sloping the flow of the water to a lower level, and it drains down to a drain down below here. So of course, with a house of this caliber, you'd hate to be sitting there staring at a drain. Yeah. So they've tucked it away neatly behind, and you can pop this little tile up here to clean it if you ever have to. But not having to look at it, just a clean, slick, elegant feel to it.
That's one of those perfectionist details.
It really is. It really is. And this onyx, absolutely gorgeous. It's like a work of art, that wall. Oh. And then the rain shower head over there. Let me go this way. Okay. So the changing room here and the closets are pretty nice. It's an all color changing room. The koa, as you probably know, has become very rare. Mm-hmm. You don't see a lot of koa being used anymore too, so it sort of highlights certain areas, but the front door, the closets, it's really amazing to have the use of koa anymore. We just don't see it very much. Yeah. And there's their sense of style is this mirror over here, just as a classic, big and bold, and but it's a great piece though. Yeah.
It really has that Eastern feel.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, the Asian, Eastern, Polynesian feel.
Yeah. Granite.
And this is granite.
Granite top here. So this is actually called rainforest granite. You can see it's very busy and interesting. It's actually marble, excuse me, it's not granite. Okay. And the rainforest is a marble, but it's a very popular choice. We see it a lot being used now. It's very natural and unorganized.
So you see this used a lot here in Maui.
Yes, it's very popular.
It's very different.
There's a green rainforest and there's a brown rainforest, but this is very, very popular right now. And it works well with the wood, that brings out the brown.
Complements each other.
Yeah, and so you got the woodsy feel and then the rainforest granite. It just feels like you're in a well. But this, of course, is a vestibule entry to the NASA. You have to walk into a door and be in the bedroom. Yeah. So this is sort of just a transition area, but great uses of space. Everything is very proportional. It's a very well designed home, and it's probably one of the best built homes that I've seen. Built by a local contractor, Maui Builders. Okay. Is a local contractor that builds in that Wailau, McKenna area doing some of these mega properties. But it's been really impressive to spend time in this house and look around. And every time I come here, I see new details, things that I've never seen before. Just little things that most people don't even think about. Yeah. And they've really nailed it in this house. Every person I show this house to has absolutely fallen in love.
Yeah, you really get that sense.
No one's come in here and said, "Oh, I don't like this." Yeah, it might be too expensive. it may not fit, they may want more, or bigger or smaller, but everyone has been blown away by the quality and detail.
Oh yeah, I was just going to say, you really get that sense of quality.
Yeah, and it's, as I say, unusual for that to be 100% of the time. You typically always get people that either love a house or they don't like it. But everyone loves the sound. The first one I saw, I think it's such a distinctive style that you may not be for everyone, but have detrimental to anyone. And we've had some good chances to sell it too. We just haven't been able to strike the deal, but we've had some very legitimate candidates come through, and certainly people that are very capable of purchasing. Just a little bit of a timing issue, but we don't see any reason why this house shouldn't sell.
Yeah. Well, there's always that one perfect buyer.
You've got to find the right buyer, and that's just it. So it's a commitment. It's a big house and a big property. So ultimately, you're looking for someone who can commit the time to being here and being able to enjoy it, and that's really a challenge. You want to go outside?
Let's head back out. Let's, of course,
take one look at the view here before we do that.
So immediately when you just arrive at this property, this is what just takes you away.
Yeah. I mean, you're just drawn out here, and going with the infinity edge. You would expect that people would be hanging out here 8 hours a day. This is the place to be, and for a family or a group of people, that's
So for 14.75, this is what
it seems like a bargain, doesn't it?
It does.
It actually is a bargain, I think. When you consider what it costs to build a home like this, what it costs to buy 27 acres, and then what it takes to carve 10 acres out of a hillside of rock, you can appreciate that there's a significant investment in a property like this. You can see security cameras all over the place, and he's probably watching us from the East Coast on his computer right now. But you can access from all over the world. You can control the house from all over the world, and that makes it easy. But then again, off the grid, once you close those gates, you're in your own world. And you sort of just feel that independence,
and that's really key.
It is key, and I think people are really into, this off-the-grid concept. It's becoming very popular.
That green energy.
The green energy, saving the planet. It's become important. And we live in an island, and the sun shines 365 days a year. So I think it makes a lot of sense, and I think there's an obligation when you live in an island to consider the fact that you are on an island stranded in the middle of nowhere. And that we ought to be more conscious of being a little more independent. And I think this is the beginning of a trend, because I've already heard of other clients who are now consulting with the guy who did the system and on how they can do that with their property. And as I say, it's the first one of its kind here in Maui and has no connection with Maui Electric. So that's a little bit unusual for us.
Yeah, and in a culture now where we have smartphones, smart tablets, I think this is very smart energy, smart trend.
It's the trend for sure. And of course, one of the big deterrents from buying a second home anywhere in the world is the fact that they're expensive to maintain. The initial purchase is a big part of it, obviously, but it's the ongoing maintenance and bills that you write every month when you're not here that's tend to nag on people. And so if you can cut your maintenance and utility expenses down, that really makes the ownership of these properties much more
manageable.
And more manageable. It's just, you got a guy who'll pay $14 million a house, and he'll be driven nuts by the $500 a month maintenance fee. Running a check every month. You know what I mean? It just is the nature of human being. And you just hate to have to. People don't like writing checks when they're not here using it. So the maintenance, choosing the right materials, controlling your costs is a really big deal right now, because that's the thing that really turns people off. So. No electric, no gas, it's going to be a good start.
So controlling the maintenance costs without compromising the property.
Exactly. And choice of materials is a big one too. You have to be careful about what you pick, because the elements are pretty harsh. You have salt air, you have rain, you have sun. So they have a great job using a lot of the natural stones outside. You can see the rock all over the place for after.
So Dean, I think that's pretty much wraps things up, and I enjoyed this opportunity for you to tour us on this wonderful, amazing property. It's breathtaking. or just can't.
And it is one of those properties. Yeah,
It's one of those speechless properties.
Yeah.
It just blows you away.
And I think I mentioned earlier too, definitely my favorite property to show. I just love it up here. When I drive through that gate, I just feel calm and relaxed.
Yes, yes. You really get that zen feeling.
Yeah, it's kind of an island feeling. You know, everyone says things calm down. I call it Polynesian paralysis. But it's kind of, people just melt when they come into these kinds of settings. And I think when you're sitting out here, can't see a soul, no one can see you, you're on your own. And I think that's such a good role here. Perfectly landscaped. I mean, landscaping is a big part of this property. 10 acres, all landscape. Flowers, hillside, everywhere, hillside. Looks like it could be a fairway and a golf course. And you know, it's just a perfect property, not only inside, but they've done a fantastic job on committing to the landscaping, which is where a lot of people fall short. Yeah. You know, they spend it all on the house and then they kind of cut back on landscaping, but in Hawaii, the landscaping is a big part of these properties.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I appreciate you guys being here, and hopefully you'll come back and see us again. Yeah. It's been a pleasure showing you guys.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. And in the spirit of Hawaii, mahalo.
Mahalo and aloha.
And aloha. Stay tuned for the next ones. Ciao for now.
Thank you.